Good evening all, hope you are well. Welcome along to what is, I hope, the first live stream of many here on Twitch, but later to be uploaded to YouTube on McAllister. And if you are a McAllister viewer on YouTube, you may know me as previously been known as Myth, which was my previous YouTube channel. Been a bit cheeky and kept that channel, but we'll jump back in for a Friday night stream, and we're going to be playing on the Dawnless days and the Sons of Gondor. As Gondor, we have got the Fiefs of Gondor submod added, so hopefully that'll add a little bit more unit variety. So without all further ado, let's get into the War of the Ring campaign. Now, I did stream last night, and we did do the first 5 or so turns of a Woodland Realm campaign. However, I didn't actually have VODs enabled, and I wasn't recording. So hopefully this evening, this video will be recorded, and also the VOD will be available for you guys to watch on Twitch at your leisure. So before we do any of that, I'm just going to make sure that's turned down a little bit. There are no voice lines as yet, so that's absolutely fine. So we are going to play as Gondor. I have not played as Gondor as yet in a campaign. To be fair, since the mod's release in December, I have only played as the Woodland Realm and as Rohan. So Gondor was kind of on the list, and it made sense when you have a channel called McAllister to play as Gondor. Of course, with Aragorn being a potential general, shall we say, in this mod, so it made sense to kick off with that. I have watched quite a few of our creators do Gondor already, and I'm not looking forward to the challenge. Sorry, I am looking forward to the challenge, but I'm not looking forward to getting absolutely destroyed, and I can already tell that the comments will be potentially not particularly kind when I do certain things, but we'll wait and see. So Gondor, of course, the starting time, this is 3015 of the Third Age, which is approximately 3 years prior to the Fellowship setting out from Imladris, and 4 years before the conclusion of the War of the Ring. And as you'll be aware, if you are a fan of Lord of the Rings or a fan of Tolkien, you'll be aware that Gondor was pretty much on its backside at this point. And sure, Denethor, just to be clear, as Gandalf said to Pippin in Minas Tirith, the Shurd is just that, Shurd, he's not the king. So there will be a little bit of a hope that we can get our king back on the throne of Gondor, and hopefully we can eradicate Mordor. So with that plan of Gondor, you can see Denethor there in his finery. Faction leader is Denethor, son of Ecthelion and father, of course, of Boromir and Faramir. In these videos, I feel like I've got a decent knowledge of the lore, and I think that's something that I always look forward to when I watch people play these Lord of the Rings campaigns on Divide and Conquer, the Dawnless days, last days of the Third Age, or the Dawn of Men on Bannerlord, or last days of the Third Age, which was for Mountain Blade Warband. I do like when the viewer, the content creator, has got a decent knowledge of Lord of the Rings, or the Tolkien works. On top of that, I'm a really big fan of Arika Galadhirfin, who used to, of course, make videos, but of course he's been out of the game for quite some time, as have I. So we'll see how this goes this evening, planning to stream for roughly about 2 hours or so, so we'll see how far we can get in that period. So we are led by Denethor, influences Dunedain kingdoms, and the faction overview is as follows. Proud and noble, Gondor stands as a bastion of hope and strength in the war-torn lands of Middle-earth. Ruled from the city of Minas Tirith, this kingdom embodies valour, honour and a steadfast commitment to defend the realms of men against encroaching darkness. Gondor's strength lies in its solid economy, disciplined armies, skilled soldiers and formidable defensive capabilities. Trained in the art of warfare, Gondorian infantry stand as bulwarks against the forces of Mordor and are reinforced by auxiliary forces from Gondor's main fiefdoms, including the Knights of the Lamroth, who are the finest cavalry in all Middle-earth. They are, to an extent, although Rohan overall has a better handle on warfare regarding horses. However, Gondor's war machine is not yet fully mobilised. The princely captains of Gondor do what they can to hold back Mordor's advance until the kingdom has constructed the necessary barracks and logistics centres needed to recruit en masse. Gondor is bordered by two enemies already. That's, of course, talking about Mordor, and to the south, the Haradrim, and the Corsairs of Umbar. And we do have Rohan to fall back on, but they are at, of course, the behest of Isengard to start with. Here, the Hammerstruck will fall hardest. The steward Denethor must ready Gondor's defences and prepare them for the coming storm, while rebuilding the resolve of his people, still hoping that one day their king will return. Wink wink, nudge nudge. So our race trait is the men of Westerness, so men tall and proud, sons of kings and heirs of greatness. Research buildings are more effective compared to other factions. Income from maritime commerce plus 15%, income from culture plus 10%, and plus 10% morale when defending, which I think we're going to be doing a lot of. And the faction trait is the bulwark of the West. By the blood of our people are your lands kept safe, of course, the famous line from Boromir. Can recruit a limited number of powerful 15 units. Special buildings reduce the spread of power of shadow corruption, and will minus 25% attrition when under siege. So, I've got all that out of the way. I will be playing on normal difficulty. Again, for these first couple of campaigns, I'm not a massive, not that I'm not a massive fan of Attila, but I'm not is fully aware of how the old mechanics and things in Attila work the same way I am with Medieval 2 Total War. So we'll start off with normal, and we'll be playing on normal battle difficulty as well. If we have a quick look at the victory objectives, the short victory objectives are to defeat Mordor and maintain control of 7 provinces, including the following, either by direct ownership, blah blah, Anorian, Lebanon and Ithilien, and maintain 10 naval units, which will be annoying because don't really intend on building a navy, but we'll see. The long victory conditions, same Grid of Mordor, add in the Mordor Heartlands and the Harad coasts, maintain 20 naval units and get 70% Dunedain Kingdom religion across our provinces. And in domination victories, like every other faction, is to reach 10 domination points. So, without further ado, let's get into the campaign and let's get a little bit of information about the faction. Let's do this. So I will talk through the load screens. Thank you. I will talk through the load screens purely because the load screens, in particular when a new campaign starts, can take a little bit of time. And hopefully, PT, I've now fixed the flicker that was happening when I tabbed out of that window. So fingers crossed we won't be having any issues like last night with potentially giving people epileptic episodes, shall we say. But I hope you're well. Like I said, last night's stream's gone, so we won't be continuing that in Woodland Realm. You can still hear your own chats. I thought I'd disabled that, but actually is there a way I can totally turn that off? If I lower that, game capture's not working, that's fine. hopefully you shouldn't hear. If you try the chat again, mate, we'll see. Me and the boys are watching Uncle Kieran whilst we play Fortnite. Giving away my my government name there, PT nice and early, and that's going to be a bit lower in the future. But hopefully you're getting some dubs on Fortnite. Duos, solos, quads. What's happening? And as I said, this load time usually does take a little bit of time when the campaign's starting. So we shall be starting momentarily. I hope anyway. And that wasn't supposed to happen. Trails. Right, let's not do that again. For some reason.
Minas Tirith, the Tower of God. For long years, the bulwark of the West had kept the shadows of Mordor at bay. But now the enemy stirs again, with renewed strength. Even now, legions of orcs pour forth from the gates of Minas Morgul. If Osgiliath is not held against them, Anorion will soon be overrun. Our forces are stretched thin, as Gondor's borders are long. From the southern sea, the corsairs of Umbar threaten our shores, seeking to pillage and plunder the western fiefdoms. Perhaps, should the crossing of the Underwind fall, it would be wise to rekindle old alliances and light the beacons. Summon the Rohirrim to bolster your forces when they are most needed. The minions of the Dark Lord are gathering for the final hammerstroke, yet not all hope is lost. Whispers spread of the return of the king. We shall rise again, take back what once was ours, and cleanse the east and south of Sauron's allies. Gondor must stand.
Okay, yeah, I did. I turned off the camera for that period, PT. So not to worry. Different faction, as I said to you in text. The VOD from last night didn't save, so I didn't see any point in continuing it, really, to be honest. So, Kingdom of Gondor. The Kingdom of Gondor begins the campaign in a diminished state, both economically and militarily. With its borders exposed to orcs and corsairs alike, you have a few fleeting turns to prepare yourself for the upcoming tide. Militarily, Gondor offers you militia units, dependable men who come cheap but will not last long in battle. The fiefdoms that dot the vast reaches of Gondor also provide their own line of troops, though limited in numbers. Finally, once the beacons are built, Gondor will also be able to recruit Rohirrim units in the province of Anorion. Economically, through a series of reforms and events sparked by the Focus Tree, Gondor will once more become the paramount kingdom of men. Do not underestimate Mordor, however. They will come at you sowing doubts between your people, construct cultural buildings to repel the influence of the power of the shadow, leeching from Mordor's cities, and shield your people and your allies from Sauron's corruption. The crownless shall again be king. Gondor may gain access to Aragorn as faction leader through the return of the king mechanic, a series of events that will shape his traits, potentially crown him as the new king of Gondor upon the event chain's completion, which I'm really looking forward to. Lord Ring, we've kind of already went over this in the faction overview. Basically, this is the extra long victory condition. If you want to, if that was going to be something that we're aiming for. To start with, we'll probably aim for the short campaign, and then we'll see how we get on from there. What traditionally I've noticed from the Gondor campaigns, and even from my Rohan campaign that I played personally, and from the Woodland Realm campaign, is the map, while it is quite big, a lot of the good factions are quite overpowered, and it can mean, unfortunately, that by the time you get to a stage where you're comfortable to just kind of ride out and take on the enemy, you have lost a lot of the settlements you can go for, unless you want to go to war with your you know, with your friends, which I don't intend on doing. But we'll see what happens. So, very quickly then, and I'm hoping it's still going to be as smooth as last night, although it might not be because I am recording this as well in case the VOD doesn't work. But we will see. So, we start off with Minas Tirith in the province of Anorion. We also have Caer Andros and Osgiliath. If you're familiar with the overhaul mods for previous Total War games, and in fact, even as I mentioned, the current Bannerlord iteration of Lord of the Rings video game or overhaul mod, usually Osgiliath is split into east and west, but I think they've done it this way, having one settlement, because again this is slightly prior to losing the Eastern Shore, I believe, over the Anduin, but also it allows you to have this province, but potentially in the future I would like them to make it a 4-province region, so you get east and west, or east and west of Osgiliath, but we would see. So off of Anorion, which is the home of the capital, which is Minas Tirith. This will be the seat of Denethor. Denethor will not be getting used as a captain, at least not to start with. So you start off with Anorion, and the good thing about the mod is they're quite true to a lot of the features you get in the lore. So something you don't really find out about in the films is that actually there's this ring called the Ramos Ekor, which encircles Minas Tirith, and of course you've got the 7 ringed city here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or it should be 7, I'm sure. Maybe it is 6. I could be wrong. Osgiliath, which was previously the capital of Gondor, wiped out pretty much by the plague, and Caer Andros, which is, you know, I suppose it's more like a watch tower or a fortress on the banks of the Anduin here, that kind of watches the north from where Mordor could come if they were to come from the Black Gate. So that's Anorion, and then you have this massive swathe of territory as well, which is made up by various fiefdoms amongst the Gondorian, or the country of Gondor. To the south, you've got Lebanon, which its capital is Pelargir. This is where, you know, primarily we'll be getting a lot of our naval units once we do decide to build ships, but we need to have a really comfortable financial footing before we attempt to do that. But as part of our victory conditions, so we will have to do that at some point. We've got Lebanon there. We've then got Belfalas here, which capital is Dol Amroth, of course, with Prince Imrahil, who again we don't really see in the film. He is supposed to be there, but we don't actually see him, to be honest. But he is the Prince of Dol Amroth. We don't have Adrahil, who is his father. He's gone by this point. And then as we go further west, we've got Western Gondor, and it's Lamadin here, and then we've got that's still part of Lamadin, Middle Gondor there. So quite a few areas. You get Pelagia Marines from here. You can get sort of Blackroot Vale units from here. Your Swan Knights, who, as we know, are some of the finest cavalry in Middle Earth, down in Dol Amroth. So yeah, there's a lot of different, you know, units that we can get that just aren't necessarily just part of our mainline troop. As I said, I do have the Fiefs of Gondor submod. I've not tried it yet. I don't know how it works. So you're all learning at the same time as me. So we'll see how it goes. In terms of starting generals on the map, we do have Boromir, of course, who is not passed away at this point. Boromir, of course, was a very interesting character, and one that I didn't really have much appreciation for until, you know, a few years ago, when I learned a lot more about him, read the books and all that sort of stuff. His character in the books is fairly different to the films, but again, I don't want to give away all the lore too early. But what I will be doing is bringing him back to Osgiliath first of all. So we do have a garrison force in there, because as we can see, Minas Morgul sits across Ithilien to our east, and that's where the primary forces of Mordor will come from. We then have Faramir, who is based at Caer Andros. Again, I've realised I've not told you what the units are. So Faramir starts off with as a Ithilien Ranger, alongside 2 Ithilien Ranger units. They are our elite archer unit, and a unit of Anorian patrollers. So that's quite good. We didn't have any cavalry in the Woodland Realm campaign that we tried last night, so that's fine. And then Boromir has a Skellige veterans who are a very heavy melee infantry unit. So they're fantastic. And again, Boromir starts off with quite a decent army, tier 3 units. So we need to try and hold on to them as long as we can. That's the only 2 standing generals we have in our kind of main area where we could face attack. And then we do have Imrahil down in Dol Amroth, who is a Swan Knight, or Knights of the Silver Swan. They are incredible. And we have some Prince's Sergeants who are also a tier 2. So that's quite good. In terms of what we need to focus on early, and before I do that actually, sorry. Minas Tirith, Skellige of Caer Andros, and a number of different settlements within the various provinces we have quite a few unique buildings for us to maintain, to build, to upgrade, all that sort of stuff. And the one I want to draw attention to first of all is the beacons of Minas Tirith, who are currently in disrepair. So we probably do want to repair them fairly soon. The beacons of Minas Tirith, what I think is really incredible about this mod, and a few of the other mods that we've seen quite recently that are based in the world of Tolkien, as you can actually see the beacons here. Now I do know their names, but I can't remember if we start with Amondine over here. Amondine should be, if it's Amondine that's here, or if it's Amondine at this side. But once we build them, we can get some Rohirrim units, and they're not the best Rohirrim units, but they're still Rohirrim, so they're better than our base cavalry, probably better than these Anorian patrollers. In fact, they will be better than these Anorian patrollers. So we've got that, it's pretty cool. We do have the ability to upgrade the tree of Gondor, which currently is not blooming, but that's very much because we don't have a king yet, which again we'll come back to that mechanic. It might be something we get a shot of, so that's okay. In Skellige, if we do have the runes of the Dome of the Stars, which again we can improve, and a lot of this is to do with with economy, but also control, which we spoke about in a previous Let's Play, which control basically is your public order. So you can get Dome of the Stars there. You can rebuild Skellige, I believe, or you can rebuild it to a certain extent. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, and you'll get that particular joke if it lands at some point. Down in Pelargir, or Pelargir, we have got a Númenórean port. Again, Gondor is, a Númenórean kingdom, but in the previous 3,000 years or so, they've lost a lot of that. The Númenórean blood within the nobles of Gondor has diminished to some extent, and they don't quite have the same sort of Númenórean bloodline as they have had previously. So that's just a little bit about that. The map is fairly is incredible. A lot of the detail. You've got the Falls of Rauros there, of course, which is, I believe, Elendil and Isildur, or it's Anorian, yeah, Arnorian. I could be wrong, I can't remember. But anyway, got the two kings of old there. Of course, the Fellowship passes them. It's quite cool. They have that, but they don't have Amon Hen, which is, well, they do have Amon Hen. That's there. Anyway, getting sidetracked. I just think when we see these maps on like this and they're so interactive, it's quite incredible. So to get us started, we do have to look at our focus tree. This is our tech, this is what we want to upgrade. Now personally, I really want to get to the stage where we have standardised officer ranks. No, we want to get to military engineering as quickly as possible, because it will upgrade our militia to trained soldiers, which again makes them less squishy, makes them a bit easier to work with. So we're going to aim for that probably straight away, and that'll probably take about 12 turns. We do have a constant effect delivering the white tree. Now, I don't know if this has been fixed yet, but once you rebloom the white tree, I believe this particular effect does diminish, but again, I'm not entirely sure. But we do obviously want to work on our civic as well, because building up our economy is going to be important. But I'm probably going to make the mistake that every person who's played Gondor so far has done, and I'm going to go straight for the military engineering. It's going to take 13 turns, but I think it's going to be really important to us to get that. So that's our focus tree. Diplomacy, we do not have any trade at the moment, and to be honest, Rohan's the only faction that we will be able to trade with at the moment, because they're quite far away, and Rohan do start fading in his sort of bewitched state. Sorry, I'll bring that diplomacy screen back up again. So obviously Mordor are our enemies, they come to our east. We do have Gondor, who again, they can essentially create puppet states around Gondor, and they can then form the Haradrim tribes. We do have the Corsairs to the south, who are based in Umbar, and they're going to attack us here in Belfast very soon, so we do have to prepare for that. And we do have the Druidine, who are essentially the descendants of the Army of the Dead, but they don't like us particularly much, purely because, you know, they're wild men, and they don't like the fact that we've got stone buildings and such. So that's that. Again, the submod, I'm not particularly familiar with what's in it, so I'm going to see if there is anything that we can get straight away. No, there isn't here. That's fine. Northern farmers, yeah, we're not doing that. So there's nothing there right away. If I was to look at, I don't want to build. Never mind. If we look at the recruitment here, so second tier we can get Pelgrim Marines and Pinnacgiln Spearmen. For centralised training, tier 3. Gondor Spear Horsemen, Gondor Spearmen, okay. Right, that's fine. I think it's also one of the Filling Rangers. There will be a way to get these, and I'm not entirely certain at this time. But we can come to that, cross that bridge when we come to it, I suppose. We will need to get a barracks here, because it's going to be where a lot of our southern armies will be built, so we just have to be prepared for that. So to start with, Emerhill, here they are. That's a very coom. I'm going to assume that's what they're called. Here is our here's our fiefdom units. So if I was to quickly, is there anyone we can get for free? No, there isn't. That's annoying. Okay, right, never mind. So that's how we get our fiefdom units. We did need to be in the fief in which they exist. That makes sense. That's fine. Okay. But as you can see, we do have a number of different soldiers that we can recruit here for Emerhill. I mean, they are tier 1, they're nothing incredible. But I mean, look at the unit cards, they look pretty cool, man. But these are all Amroth units. But we are going to add a few units to Emerhill's army, just so he's prepared. Skirmisher Caviar, we don't want that. So, let's add. So these guys. Let's add a unit of you guys. Let's add some Fund Reveal conscripts and Belfast. It's not very useful when you've got something called Belfast Seamen and those Coom guys. I should have left. If I'm hoping. Oh, I can't recruit if I'm in Force March. Yeah, that's annoying. I probably should have checked that before I moved Boromir. It's fine. We can come back to that later. We can see what the Lebanon fief units are. So obviously there's a lot of micromanaging here. The turns aren't going to move anywhere as quickly as the Woodland Realm, for example. So there's a lot to do before we actually do turn over into the next turn. First of all, we also don't start with any agents, so that's something to obviously consider. Denethor, you're going to be governor of Anorian, just makes sense. And then is it Galasgiel, I believe. Right, we'll go through all these actually. So Boromir, if we start with Denethor. Denethor has what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 authority, 3 governance and 1 command. He has a Shield of Gondor ability. It does have a lower construction time, which is fantastic, and +1 control. He has far seeing, so and he does have higher siege holdout time, which is good. +8 growth as a governed province, which is fantastic. But it does get -6 tax rate, which isn't great. But it does have quite a few good governance things, which is fantastic. You think of Boromir, who's going to be our main general out in the field for now at least. Of course, with his Osgiliath veterans, he starts off with 5 command points, 1 governance and 6 authority. He has a Captain of the White Tower ability, which now enables him to do the Horn of Gondor. He has a Gondorian Patriot, stalwart and capable attacker. Very good. Faramir, he has 6 command, 1 governance and 3 authority. He has the bold captain trait, the Oathkeeper trait, the captain of the Rangers trait, which allows him to have Valour of the Heart, and seasoned ambusher. His traits. And then we have Imrahil. 4 commands, 1 governance, 1 authority, captain of the marches, tireless marcher, steady of hand, and battle scarred. So he doesn't actually have. Interesting. He doesn't actually have a special ability, which is interesting. Between here, Ranger of Aphelion, he's cunning, 3 command, 1 governance, 1 authority, so he's going to be a commander. Hurluin, 2 command, 2 governance, 1 authority, again, nothing incredible. Dervorin, 3 command, 1 governance, and 1 authority, he's also a captain of the marches. Elfir, captain of the watch, so he probably belongs in Minas Tirith, but he's only got 1 command, governance, and authority. Angbor, who I believe is usually based around Pelargir, Ironwold, and Hellstead Warden, so that's fine. Huron, of course named after Huron, who was a hero of the first age, if I remember correctly. Could be the second age, but I'm pretty sure it's the first. Galasgiel, who has 4 governance, 2 authority and 1 command. He's a Stairs, immense command but +1 governance. He's a lore keeper, so he does improve our development rate faction wide, and he gets a decent tax rate, which is fantastic, +8%. Enfor, envoy of the White Tower, 3 command, 2 authority, 1 governance, and then Forlong. I will not go through the candidates, although Damrod, if I remember correctly, is actually a ranger who's part of Faramir's company when they capture Frodo, Sam and Gollum. Forlong, who's stoic and Hellstead Warden. He has authority, but he's not particularly good at command or anything else. So, Galasgiel, you're going to be the governor of. Before I do that, let me just double check actually. Pelargir. It's the 910 income, Dol Amroth, yeah. Let's put Glasgow as the governor of Lebanon. Perfect. We get some edicts, that'll go down very nicely. And then let's get Boromir as a councillor. Being a councillor at this point gives +1 influence and +1 authority. Imrahil. And let's also put you in there. Glasgow. And then Denethor. How much influence do we have? Boromir, you can't do anything, so Denethor, let's embezzle some funds, get a little bit extra cash. Okay, that's that done. Pelargir needs an edict. Has food, so that's fine. Probably don't want to be doing attacks at the moment. So we'll focus, we'll get +4 control as well. But we want to try and get that control up as quickly as we can, so we'll get control edict. No, we won't. Let's go for the tax rate. And then in Minas Tirith, we've got plenty of control, so again, let's go for the tax rate there. Okay, so we've got edicts there. Our control isn't totally terrible across the world actually at this point, which is very good. So we have got 7,480 gold. I think with that we should probably recruit some additional units for both Faramir and Boromir. He probably just needs an archer unit. And Cav. Okay, happy with that. Skellieth has a garrison which is fairly decent actually, which is good, as does Caer Andros, so we should be fairly safe. There was a change in the last update, I believe, to make sure that you actually got decent garrisons here, because these are just under constant attack, so we want to make sure that that's not going to be problematic. So Minas Tirith, again, is going to be the recruitment centre, so I'm not too worried about that for now. But what I do want to build here is a monument, fields. What I do want to build here is a centre. And Skellieth, I definitely want to get a watchtower, just to beef up our garrison there a little bit more. This is cutting into our funds, but that's fine. Arthurdern, down in Lebanon, again we want to focus on using this as a bit of a breadbasket, because the fertility here is rich, so we want to make sure we're utilising that, which is grand. And that's us pretty much out of cash for this turn. We are going to see a drop in the next turn, end of turn. We are going to see a drop in the finances, and of course there's there, as you can see, they're already sending units our way. Glasgow has been appointed councillor. Denethor has got us an extra 114. Wow. Boromir is a councillor. Faramir is a councillor. Imrahil is a councillor. Perfect. We have also got our edicts for tax in Lorien and Lebanon, and we've got the watchtower on Skellieth, which I think is going to be very, very important. So now that Imrahil has got somewhat of a force, I'm going to force march him. In fact, there's no point in doing that. Let's just get you down here, because I want to get you into Londra-Valis, because that's generally, again from what I've seen, the sort of place that's getting attacked to start with. But the Reavers of Ferondor can't make it this turn, so that's fine. Get some Dawnless Spear Militia. These are mercenaries, and as you can see, the mercs, we can get some really decent ones. We just don't have any of them available for us right now. We can get a tier 4 there, which would be nice, but that's what it is. I'm going to be let's cancel that. Can you make it to here, Boromir, and make it back? You should. So from just south of Minas Tirith, from the Fiefs of Gondor submod, we can get the Minas R4 Town Watch, who are a tier 1 light spear infantry unit, and Minas Brethil militia, who are a heavy axe infantry. Again, we're not going to recruit them, but I just thought it would be nice to see what it is we can get from there. And eventually we will figure out exactly what we can get from all these various places. So we make it back. It's going to make us tired, but hopefully Minas, the Mordor isn't going to attack us straight away. So what is the fertility like here? It's good. I don't know if I mean, food is important, I suppose. What's the food like here? -1, so we probably do want a little bit more food here. Although we do have a global food surplus 157, so yeah, it's not the end of the world. We can get the second tier of that, but I don't think that's necessary right now. Nothing else we can really build there. Down in Pelargia, ideally we want to get this to Númenórean port probably as soon as we can. Here, what can we build in the cities but we can't build in the towns? Town city buildings, so we can get travel lodge, trader, bakery. Okay, what's the difference there? Bakery, trader, travel lodge. Okay, so archives, hall, and public forum are the changes. Okay, that's interesting. Public forum gives us control, gives us 250 wealth, allows us to get captains. Hall gets us +2 control, 175 wealth, -20% of corruption. And okay, so I think I want to upgrade that to hall. Okay, that's fine. And then save our money, not get anything else in Lebanon for now. In here, which we didn't even look at. So that's actually something else I need to look at. I need to see if we've got buildings for all of our trade resources. Lynn here. Yeah, so Lynn here needs a great farm, so we'll get that. Goods. Was there anywhere else? Ephraim needs gold mines, so we'll get that as well. It's using a lot of our cash, but it will support us in the long run. Doamroth, Belfast doesn't have anything. Callumbo, we don't have the money for the timber. We've got the hunting grounds already in Carafaroth, so that's fine, no problem. Okay, cool. So I think that's pretty much us for this turn, to be honest. There is a way you can rush Minas Morgul. They do have quite a beefy garrison though. You can rush it if you were to bring Faramir and Boromir together. And even at this point, you know, with sort of 12 units, you'd probably be able to take it with the 2 generals, but I'm not brave enough. And you know, we are kind of trying to do a bit of a role play as part of the campaign. So yeah, Mordor's coming out already. Okay, so we have our first battle, and it is us being sieged at Osgiliath. Now, I have played this Osgiliath map, and I don't know if I like it very much. However, that being said, we are fighting 2 armies from Mordor, but at least they're not 2 full stacks. They make up roughly 12 units, but they do have cave trolls or mountain trolls, which is going to be quite scary at this point, because we've not got any javelins, for example, so our archers are going to have to focus on them. Our garrison, we do have some decent garrison units, however we don't have a lot in the way of anything elite. However, they also don't have anything particularly great other than mountain trolls and their 2 generals. Got some Uruk Throng there, got some Mordor Orc Pillagers, Wag Riders, mountain trolls, and then so we've got Gothmog here who looks like Offrod, and we've got Offrod who looks more, yeah, but yeah, this is like the Gothmog model from the film, but you know, that's what it is. And he's got some Morgul Warband, some Morgul Guard, Mordor Orc Rabble. So I think we can win this. Time will tell, however. So Gondor battle 1. Okay. Again, similar to last night. If we lose, the campaign's over before it even started. So we'll see how we get on. Let's get on to the battlefield and let's see how we get on. But yeah. It's going to be quite interesting. As I said, the map doesn't necessarily give me great joy, to be honest. But we just need to wait and see how it goes. See how we get on. I did have some music to play during this part, but I forgot to put it on. If I do that, there we go. A little bit of music. Just while we wait. Let's turn it down though, because I don't know if you will hear me over it. So yeah, we are almost loaded in. And once we go into the battlefield, we'll set up. We do have 3 crossings to watch, which will be quite interesting. As I said, I did tell somewhat a lie when I was saying that I hadn't actually played Gondor yet, when I forgot I actually did. So we do have 3 crossings to defend. We have got this crossing at this side of the settlement. We have crossing this side of the settlement and a crossing here, which is quite annoying, and our enemy is coming from here, and this is the unit with, this is the army with the mountain trolls. Pardon me, so we do have to be careful, but we can place a barricade here, which we're going to do. It does mean that they may funnel along this side street, but we'll see what the enemy wants to do, and I imagine that other army will come from around about here. We've got a bit of time before they arrive, so let's get all of our units here. First of all, let's have a quick little gander at Boromir's unit before we go any further. And PT, I noticed you made a little clip of the slow motion arrow fire from Legolas's unit last night, which is pretty cool. So we have Boromir here, full plate. It has surrounded by soldiers in full plate. I think they look incredible. This guy's got an eye patch. God love him. Oh, it doesn't. That's just a quirky little thing because of the blend. Gondor's looking great. Let's have a look at the swordsman. Bring you guys out a little bit. Again, they're looking pretty cool. Behind them, we've got. They aren't in plate yet, of course. We've got the Gondor bowman. Again, got similar livery as the Gondor swordsman. Got the Gondor Spearman, again, similar livery as their tier 3 cousins, I suppose. We've got the Bow Militia, who are very lightly armoured, not particularly useful, only some of them have helmets, which is a shame for them. We've got the Sword Militia, again, these guys are just fodder, just send them into battle, it doesn't matter if they die, they die. And that's pretty much it for what we've got at the moment. We don't have any cav either, so we can't chase these armies down, which is my fault for moving Boromir, but it's a good thing I moved them back, because if we didn't move them back, then we'd have been in a bit of trouble. So let's move that down and let's set up. So we are going to stick a unit on this barricade just in case they do intend to attack it, and we will put a spear unit here just in case. I've got a funny feeling they will come for the central bridge, but just in case, let's set some men there. Then let's set some spears on the bottom of this bridge, again into spear wall formation, and just in case we are going to put some spears here. And actually I've just realised, let's not use Boromir's units on the front line, we'll use the garrison, actually, just to be a wee bit more smart with who we could potentially lose, because we do decide to strike out for Minas Morgul, we can't take the garrison units with us, so let's not do that. Let's, you guys in spear wall as well, please shoot at this bridge. There we go. Okay, and in fact, Boromir's units fall back to here for now. We'll get the archers involved though, so not to worry. We will hold a spear unit back here, which has got Boromir's. We'll hold them back here just in case they do decide to come down this little alleyway here. But we'll wait and see. Okay, so Hardang is the general of the garrison. So again, it's not really an issue if he dies, to be honest. So you know, that's what it is. So we'll place him here. He can also go in a defensive formation. We'll place you here, and again, defensive formation. We have got these sword militias, so put them there and there. Again, let's in fact keep you guys over here because we can use Boromir's army if we need to. You guys can go here. You guys stay there, that's fine. Archer militia, let's get you here. It's a shame we can't put any units in here, because we would quite like to shoot into the side of the enemy. What is the range on you guys? To see the range, it's this red line. Can you reach that bridge? If I come here, let's see. Can you reach the bridge? No, you can't. Okay. Let's put you here. Okay, perfect. Again, let's bring you back for now. Come on, there we go. Okay, I think. Okay, let's start a battle. Let's see what happens. So, this army is advancing. Alright. The enemy is behind us. Impeccable timing yet again. Yeah. The enemy is coming from behind us by the sounds of things, which is not ideal. Although they cannot come in this back way, except, yeah, they can't come in the back way. Can they cross? No, they can't cross that. Yeah, that's impassable. So they do have to cross here. So they will have to come round. That's fine. They won't have boats. No, not for this battle. Although, to be fair, I haven't seen any naval attacks on this settlement, so I don't know. So if they're coming from there, it's going to take them quite some time to cross here or to cross here, so we don't really need to worry about it. It looks like they are going to come this way. God knows where the wargs are going and the trolls. Unless they are coming round, but they can't. They can't cross this by the looks of it. Yeah, they can't cross there. Unless they're going to link with the other army, which is a total waste of time. Anyway, let's get a look at Gothmog and his dismounted Servants of the Eye. Very heavy infantry unit, very well armoured. So they have got quite a few heavy units to destroy, for us to destroy. Mountain trolls here, not very heavily armoured, but do have quite a lot of hit points, which again is not ideal. So that's fine. Looks like they are going to come around and come through this crossing, which is fine. So in that case, what we want to do Rooney. Did look a bit like him, yeah. In that case, let's get some archers here, and probably another unit here. Yep, okay. So in that case, let's get you guys down from there. Move them a little bit. Should be able to hold them fairly easily. Boromir's units, just move back a little bit, please. Stay in the town square. Let's get this sword unit over here. And they've broken down the barricade and we are engaging. So, if you could fire there, and they did come around this side, which I thought they would do. That's absolutely fine. They are against the tier 3, but it's tier 3 against tier 3. 185. So we are winning. Boromir, I am going to bring you over here just to share your aura. Continue to fire here, please. This unit, again, you're going to come over here. And actually, no, you're better there actually, that's fine. You can get up here onto the fort. We can fire on them as they come across the bridge. How are we doing over here? Spearmen, they are taking losses. So sword militia, prepare to flank, please. Come here and come here. Okay, how are we doing here? Tier 1s and tier 1s are pillagers against our spearmen. They're holding okay. As long as we hold, that's the main thing. We still are waiting this unit to come, this army to come. The issue is we've still not had an attack on their trolls or their general yet, which is not ideal. Right, into the back of that Uruk Frog, please. Surround them. Just keep firing. Okay, you guys stay there, just in case they do come around this way, and we can hold them. So I should just go this way, please. You guys stand here, although in quite a tight column. I don't know if I'm a big fan of that. Can we get you a little bit more spread? Yeah, okay. How are we doing on this flank? Uruk Frong's not dropping. Spearmen are holding. And we've almost lost this spearman unit, which is not ideal. And here comes that second army. And looking, we've lost just under 200. And they've lost just over, or just under 300. Okay. So just, you know, in terms of numbers, we're still doing okay, but we're taking more casualties than I would have liked. Okay, archers, start firing. Start firing. Yeah, they are on the way back, and it is their trolls. Going to get you guys to hold your fire for now. Get in there. We'd quite like to tidy this up before these guys make it round. Where's our general? Is our general here? There he is, yeah. Fire. Yeah, keep firing at their sides. Probably want to fire at our general, that's okay. Bottom here. Okay, we get this unit wavering, perfect. Spears, I would love you to disengage, please. Let's bring this spear unit back to the front line, if it will allow me. Okay, keep fighting. This Uruk Throng's just not dying. And the trolls are on the way. How are we holding here? We have made some units waver, that's great. Spearmen, just hold your line, you can do it. Great swordsman, just continue to hold. Archers, be prepared to fire into those trolls. If it will let me. This unit's coming around the back, it's not good. Pull back, quick, run. They're going to get flanked, turn round. Okay, this side is most likely to fall, so fire on those mountain trolls. Okay, how we holding here? Come back. Don't get involved in melee, that's stupid. Don't chase them. Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware, don't worry. It's all in hand. Let's get this unit back here. We do have units in reserve, so it's not the end of the world. Right, Boromir, finish them off. Let's get a Horn of Gondor. Still got 8 trolls. This side, we're still holding, that's good. The spearmen are doing a much better job on this side than their counterparts on the other side. Fire on that Mongol warband. See, if we just had some cavalry, we could have flanked, which would have been nice. Don't let any of them escape. Okay. Those wargs are going to run into our spears, that is absolutely fine. Okay, Boromir, come here for me. Just to lend your aura. See if we can kill the general, we could use flaming shot. Got 73 Morgul guard. 107 spearmen, so we are winning that engagement, that's fine. My concern is this side buckles under the trolls. And it looks like that general is going to come round and test us. Thought we were crashing there. General's coming, okay. Boromir, Warcry. Could potentially try to flank here. So, they're coming. They're coming. Have we killed any trolls yet? We've not. Keep firing on the trolls. Or we'll stand forward actually. Fight Gothmog. How are we doing over here? We've routed a few units. We've lost just under 500 men, but we have killed almost 1400 orcs, so we are good. If ideally we could get rid of this flank, and then we could move. They're out of ammo, which isn't ideal. Did lose quite a few from Boromir's army, they were replenished quite quickly. Ideally I don't want to use them yet. Really don't have anything to counter those trolls. We're just going to take full caution a little bit. How's this fight going? 129 against 106. Ooh, juicy peeps, man, juicy peeps. Although we have made them route. Right, archers, you're needed over here. Yeah, this spear unit is about to break, which means we are going to require this unit to come. Move back a little bit, Boromir. Move back. Boromir, you're going to move. Move back a little bit. Move back. I want to entice them over that bridge because we're just getting shot at by their archers. You're going to come out of formation. Fire on those trolls, man. We need to get rid of them. Ideally we'd have some javelins. Do you know what? Come back. If we can get them across the bridge, we can hit them. Boromir. Shit. Use the Horn of Gondor. Good, good. Okay. Attack. Come here. Not you, you, come here. The trolls are going down, okay. A little bit of movement. archers, if we can move you guys back a little bit, please. We can still get some value from you. You guys come round this way. Get rid of those archers. Boromir are still okay. There he is. Okay, he's not quite next to the trolls, so that's positive. Fire there. Fire on those trolls. Ideally Boromir wouldn't be fighting trolls, but I'm scared to pull him back. Where is he? He's not. Yeah, there's no showdown. Good. You come here. Get rid of that Muggle warband. How are we doing on this flank? Right, I need you to attack them. Go. Probably shouldn't put those guys in formation. I need you over here so I can pull Boromir out, because he's now getting absolutely decimated. Is he dead? There he is. Yes. Boromir, I need you to pull back, mate. I cannot risk losing you. Again, our replenishment is not too bad, so we can afford to lose decent numbers. Right, attack. Okay. You're just about out of ammo. Fire there. Keep chasing them. You can kill them or grapple. Although you are untrained, you have to be better than them. Yeah, they're getting decimated by Gothmog there. Let's encourage and then war cry on Gothmog. Come on, troops. 71 left, we can do this. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of defending a settlement. Keep attacking. That's fine. Yeah, that's okay. They'll be back. You back here. Just want to pull him back because I don't. Boromir's very tired. I don't want to put him in against. Oh, they're exhausted. 64 against 63.
Our men have rallied.
Oh, that was okay. Get them. That was good. Okay. We won. The cost of 1,200 Gondorian lives, which is 1,200 too many. Boromir very close to losing his life as well. Release the dragon's wildfire. Wrong fantasy universe there, mate. Can't get after him. So this is where not having cavalry run is quite detrimental. Get after them. Is there a Game of Thrones mod? Not for Attila. There was one that was made for Medieval 2, but I've never been particularly impressed when I've watched it. Although there is fantastic Game of Thrones mods for Crusader Kings, Bannerlord, Warband as well. So I might give those a shot at some point. We're not reaching them. Right, turn around and get them then. I didn't even see if the general had been killed. Stupidly. Okay, just chase them. See if we can grab them anyway. You don't get any experience, I believe, in Attila for capturing or routing units. Right, we're not going to reach them. We might catch that general unit. Again, it depends if the general's dead. Let's see. I imagine it must be for them to break that way. Yeah, I can't see. Okay, I think that's. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, end the battle. Close victory. Yeah, we weren't looking particularly hot there for a minute. Let me just turn this on. So the enemy is broken, and Death and Dishonour theirs today, but only a single sword stroke. End the battle. I don't know if that music's picking up. It's not, annoyingly. This village is giving Company of Company of Hero vibes. Does it look like World War One France? I've just realised what that one was playing. There we go. Ah, that should be something. A little bit of copyright free token like music. Only 18 kills for Boromir, but to be fair, he was fighting trolls. They did kill 237 of our men. No standouts, really, in terms of those kills. Not like when you're doing the Elven campaigns, but it's a start. It's a start. It's a start indeed. But I am brew. It's the only thing. Battle load times nightmare. Put that music back on for now. And turn off. Okay. Boromir, you have successfully defended Osgiliath against Gothmog and Offroad. Plus 4% replenishment, but lost 1300. So again, we'd get about 50 men back. I don't think that's particularly useful at this point. 670 gold though, and we did get rid of the trolls, which is nice. And we didn't kill Gothmog by the looks of it, which is annoying. But we'll look at the battlefield, send them packing back to Minas Morgul, or towards Minas Morgul anyway. As you see, Corsairs are coming. Now it's very likely, yeah, so it was only Offroad we killed. So, first of our nice little scripts, little mechanics here. Denethor, who of course loves tomatoes, or tomatoes, whatever you wish to say it. Even in these dawnless days, sure Denethor occasionally dines together with a large circle of advisors and nobles, exchanging tidings and counsel. Today, much praise is spoken of the valour of Gondor's defenders, but soon a heated discussion ensues. Whom do we have to thank? Without a doubt, 'tis Boromir, I say, for he is the most valiant and has most strength of arms. None would best him in a duel, says one lord. Nay, brute force does not suit one of the Dunedain, responds another. Faramir has a mastery of lore, and his strategy proves more prudent in the end. All eyes turn to Denethor, expecting a decisive statement. He sets aside his plate of tomatoes and says, if anyone's not familiar with that particular scene, just go on YouTube, Denethor, tomatoes. I would say thank me later, but I don't think that's going to be a thing. So we can say it's Boromir who we have to thank. Boromir will appreciate this. It's Faramir, although I do prefer Faramir, but again from the roleplay perspective, Faramir will appreciate this. And then who's Faramir? Trait gain was cynical, and Faramir will remember this. We will say it is Boromir. Close victory, of course. Boromir has gained the rank, we'll come back to that shortly. And we have got the centre and Minas Tirith, which is excellent. Okay. Grand. First point of business before I forget, let's move Imrahil to Londrovalis, just in case. And they can't make it this time, so that's fine. I don't really need to add anything, preferably, potentially. A bow unit would be quite useful in this army, but again I don't want to build it too big because I need to be careful of the upkeep for that, so we'll not do anything with that for now. Okay, Boromir has a rank, so let's rank you up, Boromir. So Boromir again is going to be a general in the battlefield. I'm not particularly fussed about doing anything too outrageous with him in terms of governance. We do want to focus on things that will help him on the battlefield. So Hunter, plus food and upkeep cost. Upkeep cost might be quite useful, -5%. Fletcher, 7.5 range for archers, ammunition. Not particularly bored about that one. Scholar, +3 development rate faction wide, which could be quite useful. Stonemason, construction cost again, that's governed. 2 Lords of the Fiefdoms, campaign line of sight, might be useful. Sailor, campaign, again this is more maritime stuff for navies, not bothered with that. Dol Amroth veterans, charge bonus for cavalry, upkeep costs -3% for non-merc units. That could be quite helpful if you were to tie that together with the hunter unit, the hunter follower. Captain, +5 movement range, +1 morale, and bodyguards, +3 for the commander's unit in defence and attack. I'm going to go for captain. I think that morale will be really important. We did see a couple of units waver and break there, so ideally we don't want to be doing that, but we have got decent replenishment on these units, which isn't too bad for now. Okay, so we have got a little bit of cash. Again, I'm not wanting to build these armies up particularly much at this moment in time, although I would like to give Boromir a unit of these Athelian Rangers. So if we can meet in the middle, the two brothers, just having a little catch up, you know, I would like to move one of those units, and in its place we will swap the Gondor bowman. Okay, Faramir, back to Kirandros. Let's put you in forced march. That should allow you to make it. Yep, perfect. Okay, and then Boromir, let's get you in forced march and get you back to Osgiliath. Perfect. Just Athelian Rangers are just a much better ranged unit than what we have available. So splitting them, I'm hoping will a bit of a difference maker. Where what it was in this region? Yes, we needed the timber yard here in Callambell. Our control. Let's have a look at the provinces. So Honorian's not looking great in terms of food, but that's absolutely fine. The control is all looking fairly positive. Lebanon has this contested province because this area here, Gobel Tofalas, or is it Kirifianan or something along those lines, is desolate at the moment, so we will want to populate that at some point. But the problem with populating it at the moment is it costs money, and also it does take units from you. So I'm not particularly interested in doing that right now. So we're not going to go for that. Ideally, actually, we would allow either Gondor or the Corsairs to take it, and then we can just roll in and take it up. Londra, I think I would like to get the watchtower there, just in case it is attacked. These coastal settlements are a little bit tricky, so we want to be quite careful with what we're doing there. Fertility's good here, fertility's good here, average here, good, and then rich. So this is going to be our bread basket. This is where we're going to do most of our kind of food production and trying to gain wealth from farming and such like that. So Clarkson's farm is going to be around here somewhere. So let's get if we get a probably didn't need to do that. So yeah, we'll put something there next time, that's fine. Can't recruit, that's fine. We'll see if these lads want to try again, although it probably would have been a good idea to actually ride out and get rid of them. But again, without cavalry, and I probably should have gave this cavalry to Boromir, but it's fine. So throw in a quick save, let's end the turn. Okay, we've got a little bit of respite, that's fine. Now where are you going, Corsairs? Favourite son? It's Boromir, of course, responds to Denethor, of course, relating back to the script from the previous turn. Gondor's finest, my firstborn, they say vanquished the enemy that's good almost single-handedly. Here is a captain with the courage to do his lord's will. The steward's words are well received by his counsellors, for indeed most of them value Boromir's strength, and they drink to his victories. Trait gained, favourite son. That then gives Boromir +1 influence, +1 command, and +3 morale for the commander unit. Which is nice. Okay, cool. So, excellent. So what I would like to do now is take you out of force march, and let's get a cav unit in that army pronto, because again we need to be able to write down those routing numbers. Minas Tirith, I was going to build let's repair them. Probably should have done that last time. Here I would like to build, I was wanting to build a trader. We don't have enough cash for that, that's okay. Kerandros, do we want a shepherd? Yeah, I want a shepherd there, and that's our cash gone for this turn. And that's fine, that's okay. We can deal with that. So again, very quick end turn there, but there's not a lot to be doing. Got to take the respite where we can, because we will get attacked as we go forward. So we now have got the professional military craft, so that means we can get the blacksmith, which we will be getting in Minas Tirith as soon as possible. And we're now going on to the standardised officer ranks, again as we get closer to that professional. Wrong button. As we get towards this military engineering, which will allow us to remove or to replace those militia units with a little bit more of a professional army. So actually, I'm going to dismantle that, because I would like to get the blacksmith to get those armour upgrades as soon as possible. So we'll dismantle that this turn, then next turn we will be able to get the blacksmith, and a couple of turns down the line we'll be able to improve the armour. We do have a little bit of cash. Is the watchtower built here yet? It is, perfect. Lynn here can't be attacked again, nowhere can be. Minas Alpha and Alpha might want to get a watchtower, but again I don't think that's quite necessary at the moment. Building the bakery there, perfect. What about, and we do have to be careful here over on this side, because Isengard, if they do get a bit too big, they can kind of snowball and end up coming down through the mountains. I believe these are white mountains, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I think they are. Anyway, Lon Gallon. Do we want to get? Yeah, let's get a harbour there. Get 1899. Dol Amroth, can we build anything? No, we can't. We can build something here. So I'm thinking, let's get a monument. Still have a little bit of cash left. I probably do want to build monuments just to build that control and influence. So let's get another one there. Ideal. Let's save. Let's go to the next turn. Oh, Denethor is a lot cool. We want to do anything that will increase his governance. Industrial buildings, that could be quite useful actually. Scholar, focus, I think actually scholar would be quite useful for Denethor. Although, actually, reset that. Let's get a stonemason. Let's decrease the price of things we're building. I think that's going to be quite important. So let's do that. Let's get to the next end turn. Probably about half an hour of the stream remaining for this Friday evening. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, perfect. So we demolished that, and I wanted to build the blacksmith. Yes, let's do that. Galaskill's got an upgrade as well. So let's go to Galaskill. Let's have a look at you. And similarly, you've already got quite good tax rate, haven't you? Let's continue to bump that up. Let's go with Fief Lord. Plus 10%, and again that agriculture and animal husbandry, that's going to be good, because that, again, Lebanon, where he is where we're going to get most of that animal husbandry and agriculture boosts, so that's fine. Let's just be sure we're building things in all the resource places. Again, they want to make their mind up where they're going. Even at that, I don't think they'd have enough to beat our garrisons in a lot of these places. So, Lord Galaskill looks amazing. Okay, that's cool, man. I didn't realise it also updated the garrisons with this Fiefs of Gondor submod, which I think's really, really cool. Minas Tirith, they get Lords of Lasarnak. That's not Denethor's unit though, is it? Or is it? I don't know. We'll find out. In that case, if we go over here, ooh, they look cool. What about a wreck? Just lots of bowmen, which isn't ideal. Ah, right, okay. Yeah, so at some point, once we've got a really good economy, and we can afford to have lots of generals, we're just going to make massive fief armies. And again, I'll do a bit of research and make sure I know where every general is from, so we don't end up like Imrahil with you know, an army from, you know, the Ringo Vale, for example, and then try our best to have that, because I think that'd be pretty cool. But we'll see. Can we build? No, not the right button. As much as I want that, probably should be doing that. The coastal stuff I'm really not bothered about. I really don't intend to be using much naval units. Anyway, that's +1 Gondor Spear Militia, +1 Gondor Spearman. That also gives a bowman. It's probably not necessarily worth the maintenance costs or anything else that comes with that. So yeah, we're not doing that. It doesn't make sense. Can't build anything there anyway. Lebanon, we've got things building there. Lynn here, we've got all the fantastic resource buildings, which are going to be extremely helpful. Lynn here, we might want to build. Again, Pelargia is going to be our military naval site, so I'm not that bothered about building that anywhere else. So Lynn here, if we can create that into a harbour, yeah, let's do that. And then do we have? Let's get a monument. Just make sure we got a monument, I think, in every region. I think that would be quite useful. And as you can see, Boromir's army is starting to replenish, which is nice. And I imagine, let's have a look at the garrison. That's also replenishing. So that's worked out quite well for us. So let's go to the next turn. I appreciate not a lot of battles ongoing at the moment. Wine production, construct a building. Wine, I think we have already got that, so we should get that 750 gold next turn. Lynn here. Yes, we do. So we'll get that 750 next turn. Excellent. Bakery in Lebanon. Excellent. And then war declared Gondor and the Lost Laden tribes. Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't interest us right now, but it will be something that does eventually rear its ugly head at some point. So again, we've got 4,500 gold. I don't know if it's worth saving up for either the Dome of the Stars. It's not really actually. I don't know if it's worth saving up for the beacons, because again that will allow us to get those Rohan units. The Esquires of Rohan, the Horse Archers and the Raiders of Rohan. That may be a good idea. Although Dol Amroth, yeah, it doesn't have anything kind of special down here other than Terrify Year, so yeah, although it does give us a massive boost to Maritime, well, massive plus 10%. Imrahil's just kind of sitting here at the minute, but we're kind of stuck because we're waiting to see what this army does, but it's not causing us any harm right now. The only thing these guys are doing is costing us upkeep, but they're not necessarily expensive. So other than these Princess Sergeants, but we don't want to get rid of them. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what I want to build. Nothing here, that's fine. Arthurdern. Could get another field here. That might be quite, in fact, yeah, let's do that. Let's get another field here. Perfect. Still got good money. Tarnost, this is kind of our production sort of settlements. So I think if we get a centre here, I'm going to get a trader. That'll be grand. Mornemar, what's it's good fertility. How's it doing for food? It's okay for food. Do I want to get that? I don't know. I don't know, but stuck. Could upgrade that. And then Long Gallon over in Western Gondor. What's the... It's good fertility over this way. What's food like? It's 100, 40, 113, 100. So we probably want to get some sort of food centre up here as well. Oh, still have wreck. Ah. Immunity to Path of the Dead attrition. So I think that means by Path of the Dead attrition is we can, to get to Rohan, we can cut across the White Mountains through the Path of the Dead, the Demalt, to get to Rohan. So that could be quite... I didn't mean to do that twice. Stupid. But we are going to get the fields there. Did I just destroy something there? Pretty sure I did. No, I can't have, because it takes a turn to be destroyed anyway. Let's get a centre as well. That's fine. Okay. Let's save. Go to turn 8. Flying through the turns at the minute. Flying through the turns. Yeah, there's an extra 750. Perfect. Got the monument in Minas Al Franath. And Afradern. And a blacksmith in Minas Tirith. So that means we can get some nice shiny upgrades for these guys. Not the bow militia, not the Northern patrollers though. They can piss off. They're not getting them. I should have seen what the... So, actually we can do a little bit of a... We can actually do a little bit of a comparison. So, Faramir... No, we can't because we don't have... That's fine. Never mind. In fact... Right, okay. So, Boromir... Again, how much of this is to do with... Plus 8 for his shield, plus 5 for arm piercing damage. Armour. So there is an armour increase. It just doesn't show by the looks of things. Or I could be totally stupid. But anyway, that's fine. Let's upgrade Faramir, Bowman and the Rangers. Perfect. There we go. So all of our upgrades for the blacksmith paid for by building that wine trade building, which is great. Is there anything we can kind of get that will increase trade? No. On here, you were getting the centre. Let's turn that into a trader. Costing a lot of money. Can we get another? Just thinking about it. Can we get another governor? I don't think so. I don't think we've got Dawnless level. They're not moving, and we can't attack them. So that's annoying. We could build an army of Imrahil and just go for it. We just don't have the finances for it right now. We just don't. Okay, right. I think again for this turn, that's us. Not got much else to do. And Mordor are coming forth. Okay, got a population surplus in Belfast, and now we've got the standardised officer ranks. Gives us +2 morale, and now we're working on military engineering, which will allow us to upgrade these militia units that we have. How many? I would quite like to see what you've got. Can I?
Soldiers of Gondor, stand
How
ready.
close can you get? Not very.
March.
It's not worth risking it. Okay. Do you know what? I am going to upgrade these just in case. Is Osgiliath got his full garrison back? It does. The only thing with these guys is they don't get the bonuses. That's how you check the replenishment. It's at the bottom of the card. Stupid. Okay, fine. No problem. Right. So, there's not really any point in getting any more of this, let's say, fodder. How many garrison units do we get? We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we get 10 garrison units. We've got 5, 6, 7 units. I don't know why I'm counting it when it's at the top right hand corner there. That's fine. I just realised the event message, you can't see them because of the camera, but that's what it is. We could probably do with another bow unit and a sword militia unit, just to bump that up a little bit more. And I mean, in 5 turns time we'll be able to upgrade them to a little bit, so that's fine. Once that's done, I'll get that, and then we'll leave military for a while. We're not going to focus on it. We can leave it. We're then going to focus on civic, because we do need to start unlocking the ability to build the next tier of sort of industrial buildings. So that's fine. We'll get a little bit of cash. Belfast has the population surplus. Dol Amroth, again, I'm not too interested. Is there anything that actually we can build here that's different? No, there's not. That was a bit of a waste, to be honest. Dol Amroth is going to get a harbour. So what building do I want that's going to help with construction costs? Builder. Go figure. Right, okay. Stupid. Right. In that case, I don't need probably surplus. Well done, Kieran. But to be fair, it's not a lot we could change because we do need the armour upgrades, and we do need to be able to increase the level of our units. Okay, let's get the shall we get no point getting a recruitment camp there, I don't think. If we're going to get a recruitment camp, I'll have a recruitment camp because just going to get into our economy though. Let's get a blacksmith down there as well then. And then Lon Gallon. I don't know. I really don't know. This is where my inexperience and lack of knowledge of this, a lot of the mechanics in this game really comes into play, knowing what each building browser does, or building tree does. Got a harbour. We have got the hunting grounds. Is there anything we can get? Is there anything we can get that will help us with making money off the naval element of it? Go to centre. So what's that? Maritime commerce. So culture. So it's probably the trader or the bakery. So probably want to get a trader. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get the centre there. We'll bulk that up to a trader then next turn. Okay, I feel like I'm getting a decent idea, but you guys are probably sitting there watching this thinking what an idiot, which is fair enough, it wouldn't be the first time. And Arthrodern plus 100 from culture. Again, I think we're focusing. Oh well, yeah, I mean this could also be a cultural place. Yeah, let's get that as well then. Just spend money for the sake of it now. Okay. Again, let's end the turn. Knew that was coming. Okay, right. We'll probably make this the final battle for the episode, for this stream. So we've got Boromir, who's been bolstered by some Mathilian Rangers, Anorian Patrollers, and some bodyguard. Some armour upgrades and sword upgrades, shield upgrades, sorry, and weapons upgrades. We've got 17 units up against Mordor's full 19 stack. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. Yeah, 18 stack. Although again, there's nothing particularly difficult here, and because it's all one army, I anticipate they're all going to come from the same area, although they do have armour upgrades as well. So this could be quite interesting. I think there's a couple of tier 2 units which could make this interesting. We've got 2015. What a year. We've got 2015 up against their 3,545. So let's get on to the battlefield and let's see how the second siege of Osgiliath goes. So there will be no stream tomorrow night, unfortunately. However, I do hope to return on Sunday at some point, maybe an afternoon stream. We'll see. Hopefully by Sunday the setup will be a little bit better, and I'll actually be able to play this on my main monitor, which I have centrally. So, again, they have split their units on this occasion. Turn that off. They split their units. So to repeat, there won't be a stream today, tomorrow, but there will be a stream Sunday, I hope. This will be uploaded to YouTube as well, which I'm looking forward to. See how that goes. So they split their army, which is good for us to some extent. Same again, we will use our garrison troops as the main front line. Same again, we will cover each bridge or pass just to ensure that we've got the men there. I am thinking that barricade's a bit of a waste of time, because what happened last time was it just came round this way, 1 or 2 units. I don't really want to fight them like that, so let's bring them here. Our cavalry will be important, because if they do leave one of those bridges open, we can bring our cavalry through the centre, or I imagine it will be the centre, and we can mop up the enemy units. Now their general, who is Grishnak, he has Servants of the Eye, who we've not seen yet, who are a mounted cavalry unit, and they are quite difficult to dispose of, so that's going to be quite interesting. They have a warg unit as well, or tier 2. Quite a few tier 2 units, which is going to make this quite difficult, because we are, of course, at the moment still rocking tier 1 units and fairly ill-disciplined and unprofessional units, which isn't ideal. And then on this flank they've also got some more cavalry, some cavalry from I imagine that's Khand or Harad if they're on camels. Some more warg sentries here, tier 1, and they have some pikes, which are not going to be fun either, because pikes can use an ability where they just push through, which isn't going to be fun. But look, we'll try our best, that's all we can do. Right, so again, let's get our professional. Let's in fact do a little something like this. To that formation. Let's get a bow unit back here. Okay, that's that flank. Excellent. Let's get another spear unit on this side. They held quite well last time, so fingers crossed they'll do the same again. And then, just in case, we'll put this tier 3 unit here, just in case. If they don't, we can move them, that's fine. Alrighty, I want my Aphelion Rangers on this wall, so we can maximise the elevation, and then we'll have this bow unit here again. Let's put that barricade there. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? Right, just get rid of that actually. You there, can fire into their sides. Okay, cool. Right, we've still got a few units to use. Okay, cool. Sword militia here. Let's actually use the Gondor swordsman there. Let's get a unit over here. Just pull them back a little bit, away from any potential arrow fire. Sword militia here just in case. And then we'll use this final sword militia here. Although they're bulk, well, they're split their army fairly evenly actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units there, so should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh yeah, 9, 9. That makes total sense. Stupid. And then Boromir's units can stay back for now. Boromir, I would quite like you on this side, just to help with the morale, and then the rest of you here, just in case we need to go right or left. Okay, let's start the battle. Let's see if they are going to come to this side, because if they are, that's fine. If we come down the middle, obviously left is a little bit exposed in the middle, but we have got some units here which we can push forward if necessary. But again, I'd much rather use the garrison units first of all, rather than use anything else. So a little bit about Asclepius. So if we obviously the commander here is Boromir. So in the films, there is a deleted scene in the Two Towers as Faramir reminisces. Let's close that. As Faramir reminisces about his brother. You can see part of the scene in the theatrical release, but in the extended editions, as part of that sort of reminiscing, thing that Boromir does, there is a scene which basically gives us a story of why it was Boromir who was sent on who was sent to Imladris to attend the Council of Elrond, and that scene follows Gondor, both Faramir and Boromir, repelling the forces of Mordor prior to the events of the siege in Asclepius and Two Towers, but prior to Boromir and Faramir leaving to go to Imladris to join the quest, and Faramir actually proposes to go in his stead, and Denethor, being Denethor, because he's an incredible father, and by that means a massive dick, doesn't trust Faramir with the quest, and sends Boromir instead. And Boromir is quite hesitant to go on that quest. However, in the books, no one's actually going to Rivendell or Imladris because they want to be there, or because they've been summoned. They've gone there because Elrond is a incredible scholar, and he knows pretty much everything that there is necessary to know about the history of Middle Earth. So essentially, anytime there's any issues with the Free People, he is the guy you ought to talk to, right? He's the man with a dog, right? He's the guy that you go to. And in the books, it turns out that a lot of the people who are at the Council of Elrond, it's all coincidence. It's not. It wasn't planned. They wouldn't intend on being there. Let's put you in shield wall just to stop those archers from causing too much damage. And Boromir goes there because him and Faramir share a dream of essentially what's to come, but also kind of hinting at the idea that there's actually some good in the West, and that essentially Frodo is the ring, and Faramir and Boromir basically decide they're going to go. Denethor lets Boromir go, and ultimately leads to the death of Boromir, who, as we are aware, is Denethor's favourite son. So yeah, there you go. A little bit of a lore lesson. How useful or interested you are is a different matter, however. So both sides seem to be holding fairly well. The Spear Militia unit, they are dropping a little bit, but they've got 33 kills. The Spearman unit got 108 kills. They've only lost 10 of their unit, which is grand. Over the side, this unit of Gondor Spearmen are dropping, but they are holding. They've got 80 kills. We are backing them up now with this Gondor Spearman unit, and we are using our archers to fairly decent effect. 164 kills for the Athelian Rangers. I'm quite pleased I made that decision to swap them. Let's get our cavalry prepared. They will be riding out shortly. pretty soon, ideally, just to kind of hit those guys in the back. But our Artillery Rangers are almost out of ammunition, which is not ideal. But it is what it is. But this side seems to be doing fairly well. If you can, I would like you to fire on those orcs now. Fire from... Can you not fire from there? Stop. You should... just about don't reach them. Right, that's okay. Fire on the pikes then. Fire on those pikes. Artillery Rangers, you can come down. This unit's almost out of ammunition. That's a final volley. They're done. Okay, move back. Boromir, let's get you here for a second. We can use your ability. But we are holding this flank fairly well, which is good. They're just tanking those that arrow fire, which is great. Annoyingly, they are keeping this unit back here. Oh, they're moving. Okay. Okay, patrollers, it may be time. Come on out. Yes, I'm aware. Okay, let's use the Horn of Gondor. And then let's bring you back. So, how are we doing? We've lost 200, but we have killed nearly 1,000, which is fantastic. This flank may require some support. Let's pull you over here, just in case these spear lines do fold. I would love to go around and deal with these archers with the horses, but with those warg sentries there, I'm a bit concerned that our horses wouldn't be able to handle them. So let's not do that. Yeah, you can keep moving out slowly. Although the general is almost dead, which is nice. Is Gershnak dead? Yes, enemy general's dead. Excellent. Okay, so what I want to do now is we want to absolutely destroy their morale. In fact, you don't need to be on flaming shot. You can be on standard shot with only one unit. In fact, in that case, let's get you over here. In fact, you need to be prepared. So go that way. You can start mopping up those units as they flee. Much better, tidier defence this time. Taking out the general is incredibly important. I would appreciate, however, if you did not hit your own men in the back with those flaming shot. That would be preferable. Those archers, you're on your way. If you could be a bit quicker about it, that would be nice. You're going to need to run now. Get after those camel riders. Okay, let's go 2 times speed. I thought that was a fire there. I was like, why would there be a fire? Bit strange. Instead of go here, go to flaming shot. Fire into that blob, thanking you. Cavalry, you're reaching them. I believe you want to get each unit to just under 8 to wipe out the entire unit. And ideally we'll wipe out as many as we can. The general's dead, so we don't need to worry about him. That's fine. How many's left? 1. Okay, turn your attention to this rabble. Run. Boromir, if you can come over here for me, mate, please. We've lost that unit. That's fine. We're going to need you on that side. If you can come over here, come forward a little bit. Cav, you're still mopping them up. There's 4 left. Right, go for these pikes. Because they are broken, they shouldn't kill any of my men. We'll soon see if that's the case. 37, 35, 34. They're fresh, that's fine. Probably want to get over and try and deal with that before it escapes. So how we get him on these pikes. 9 left, kill 1 more, 2 more, we should be good. Great, okay. Try and get over to them now. How are we doing here? These guys are almost done. Let's get a Horn of Gondor. No, stand here. 1 more volley.
A unit has fired all of its ammunition.
Attack. Cavalry's trying its best to get there. You're not making that. Go back for the pikes. They are incredibly more valuable to get rid of. Yeah, that is perfectly okay. Right, let's turn that off. Again, these are garrison troops. If they get killed, I'm not particularly fussed. I think what happens with garrison troops is if they get killed off, they get brought back immediately. Whereas if you don't, then they replenish. So that's fine. As long as Boromir doesn't lose any of his contingent, I'm quite happy. Serpent Warriors, have a look at these. Ah, here's the art. Okay, these look like runic units. How many kills do the Felling Rangers get? They got 189. Excellent.
Our men have given up and are running for their lives.
Okay, Boromir, let's encourage this unit. Let's war cry on them, bring the morale down. Cavalry, you're still here. I don't know if you'll make them, but at least try, see what happens. Let's just speed up a little bit more. This side looks like it could break further.
Enemy forces have destroyed an entire unit.
Boromir, if we can get you on this side. I mean, this is well, tier 1 and a tier 3 against variety of tier 2 and tier 3s, so not totally surprising. Could we hit them in the back? Come here. They could break shortly. Boromir. Excellent. Do war cry. Encourage. Hit them. Let's see. How many kills? Yes, that worked. Excellent. Okay, chase these. swordsman, chase them. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very happy with that. Just chase them now. Perfect. Run, otherwise you're not going to catch them. Right, let's just speed this up. Perfect. Get after them. You get after them. Try and mop up as many as we can. Again, very happy with the fact that we were able to do that. Although we did utilise the cavalry and the Affiliate Rangers really, and the bows, didn't lose a single man from Boromir's primary force, which I am very happy with. Again, I appreciate I'm playing on normal battle difficulty, but I'm not amazing at this game. I just enjoy playing it. Keep going, get after them, please. Okay, they've escaped. Okay, so this side's done. Cav. Okay, forget them. Go after them. Get after the Smoggle Raiders. Could do with another Cav unit probably. Just to we could have had one on each side. Are you running? Just get after them, get them going. And they're gone, okay. Excellent, right, okay, let's end the battle. Close victory. I wouldn't say it was close, I think we absolutely battered them, but you know, that's what it is. Let's turn that down a little bit. Okay, so 958 losses, killed 3030, we didn't manage to wipe out any of the units by the looks of it in their totality. But 492 kills, but that's inflated due to the pardon me, that's inflated due to the prisoners, the routing units. 41 kills for Boromir, 189 for the Affiliate Rangers. So really pleased, really pleased, really pleased. So that will probably bring this stream to a close for this evening. We'll just tidy up what we have to do on the campaign map, and then we will get going. But very pleased with the start we've made, and as always, any comments, any tips, hints, anything you think you should do differently, we shouldn't have done, then please let me know. But again, we are playing on normal difficulty, I don't make any bones about that. So let us, we're definitely losing 1500 gold. We're not getting any replenishment by the looks of it. So look, battlefield. Goodbye. Might even go out after them next time, just to tie them up. Grishnak is deceased. Excellent. The only good orc is a dead one. So we've got close victory. Wall Watcher for Boromir, so +2 morale when under siege. Fantastic. +2 siege holdout time. And +1 command, which is fantastic. Boromir. Let's have a quick look at him. We've got a follower to give him, but he's now up to 7 command stars and 7 authority. So he is becoming a fantastic general. And I think the one I was going to get next was Hunter, to just decrease that upkeep somewhat. And we do get a banner, and ideally we probably want to get one for against orcs. Is there anything for just basic units? There's the White Tree banner of Gondor, which gives morale, melee defense for professional soldiers. Let's get the blackened banner. That gives us, let's reset that actually. So we already got +2% replenishment, +2 morale, -8% upkeep cost. So if we add this, we get +2 morale against orcs, -20% attrition damage from wasteland. So that's when we're in Mordor. +1 melee attack in wasteland or steppe terrain, and -20 attrition damage from most perilous corners of the level. So I don't know if that is then that's added to the attrition damage as well, but I'm not entirely sure. I forgot to. What was this? What was I giving them there? I was giving them. Hunter, that was it. To get that -5 upkeep, and Faramir has actually got a follower as well, and again, for him, he's primarily going to have ranged units, so let's get him the Fletcher. That gives him +7.5 range for archers, +3.5 range for skirmishers, so that's your javelins, etc. +5 ammunition, 5%, and +5 from industrial buildings. Again, we're not going to be making him a governor anyway. So we've got population surplus. I appreciate you can't see that because my camera, but we've got +2 population surplus in Lamadin. Military Tradition Company of Skellieth. Again, we've already touched on that. We have built the centre in Erech, the harbour in Linhir, and the centre in Tarnos. We've got bow militia and an herbal militia into Boromir's army, and a sword militia into his army, and also gained a rank with Boromir. So just a quick recap then. We've not done anything too major in this first stream, episode, part, whatever you want to call it. Essentially tried to shore up the economy somewhat. Imrahil's also got a follower to get. Let's go for the charge bonus, why not? That gives us +5% and -3 upkeep for non-merc units. So just to recap what we've done in this stream, we have shored up our eastern defences in Caer Andros, and in Osgiliath we fought 2 siege defences against Mordor, one against that 18 stack, and one against 2 armies, but with only about 16 units, if I remember correctly, across the 2 armies. So we dealt with them fairly well. In terms of our other settlements, we have basically set up Lebanon to be our breadbasket region. The fertility is rich, we have to capitalise on that. Linhir in Middle Gondor, It's very much going to be a maritime trade hub for us, with all these various different resources we can get there. Dol Amroth, again, similar. That will be, again, will more than likely be an industrial / maritime province for us to try and build our wealth upon. Pelargir will probably act as our main naval hub for ships. Out in the west, again, this will more than likely be a trade / cultural hub, and also trying to capitalise on the naval elements we can build upon. And then in Lamadin, again, it's going to be a lot of focus on kind of culture and fertility and things like that. So, with that being said, my friends, thank you very much for tuning in for this first part of this adventure with Gondor. I really appreciate it for sticking around. If you are on Twitch and you've catched the VOD, please consider hitting follow and coming back next time. Put that bell notification bell on for the next stream, which I anticipate will be Sunday the 8th of February. And for those of you on YouTube, thank you very much for watching the video. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to catch you all in the next one. Thank you very much, and take care.